Hi, my name is Mario Santos. I'm an hypnotherapist based in Lisbon and working all over the country here in Portugal. I am the latest guest in the podcast Simple Life, and I hope that you like my interview with Dylan. Thank you very much.
Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal The Simple Life. And I'm really delighted and excited to be joined here by Mario Rui Santos. Mario, bom dia.
Bom dia, Dylan.
Thank you
Good
for being on the
morning.
podcast. How are you?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm excellent.
Good. You are sitting in Lisbon right now, born
Yeah,
and raised Lisbon,
that's right. Born and
Alfas,
raised,
Alfas
working in
something.
pure lettuce.
I'll never forget the post that went viral many years back during COVID with a lady
Mm.
that used lettuce for her mask. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
But thank you for being on the podcast. Maybe you can start off telling us about you.
Okay. So my background, professionally wise, my background is from marketing management. For many years, I used to work in the advertising industry, almost 20 years.
Okay.
And so I made the campaigns for shopping malls, political parties, for car manufacturers. So I had quite an experience on that field. And there was a time in my life in which the training and lecturing started to appear on those fields of marketing, communication, but also something related to consumer behavior, motivation, entrepreneurship, and then I started to look for another kind of training for myself. And there was one day that I crossed my path with an English school of hypnosis. So that was in 2000, more or less. And then my life changed. So 25 years ago, my life changed.
Amazing. Okay, let's talk about. We have some crossover colleagues and connections. We both know Anel, who's she's coming onto the podcast. You were also on People of Lisbon. Stephen's been with us as well. Um, and you you spoke in that video about born and raised in Lisbon, and
Right.
Lisbon today and Lisbon 20 years ago is a very, very different place. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience of living in Lisbon, growing up in Lisbon, and some of the changes that you've seen.
Well, as you can imagine, I'm almost 60 now. So a
You
lot
look
of
good. You
changes.
look good for
Uh,
60.
Thank you.
If I look like you when I'm 60, I'll be very happy.
Okay. So Lisbon in that time, so in the 60s, between 60s, 70s, I was born in 1968. There was still a little rural, uh, almost a field, the environment. So it was a small village, a small town, but not as touristic oriented that it is now. Kids used to play in the street, so it was completely different. It was also we were still living in a dictatorship, so it was also a little dark regarding that aspect. But we are now seeing a town that is completely different, more open to the world, filled with tourists, crowded with tourists. Uh, Fortunately, a lot of traditional aspects are still kept, but as you can imagine, nowadays there is a term that sometimes in regarding great cities in Europe, which is the Disneyfication. Okay,
Disneyfication.
Disneyfication, which is like a Disney party. It's Disney theme park, but okay, we can still live in Lisbon. It's still acceptable. It's not easy. We have to get around the tourists, but the sun, the light, the people are nice. So it's still good to live in Lisbon, I
Which is
think.
your neighborhood of Lisbon?
Now it's Restelo, Belém.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice area.
Mhm.
I like it. I go there. Sometimes they have the rugby games at the Gestele Stadium,
Yeah, that's
uh,
right.
and we go there sometimes.
It's a
It's a
more peaceful, more calm
more
part of.
residential.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, you mentioned that some of the traditions, some of the traditional things have that we've managed to keep in Lisbon. What are some of those things that you've seen that have still remained, which is so
Well,
important? It's so important.
for instance, the things that you have in your background, we still have the kept part of the layout, the original layout of the city, which is a very important part of our city, Lisbon, is the layout, the graphic of the buildings. They are still respected. Uh, Markets still in the city. Uh, Now it's the time of the saints,
Santos
which is
Populares.
tradition. So fortunately, many traditions are still in place. Okay, but mainly those the layout of the city. Um, People are now a mix with a lot of nationalities and living in Portugal. But yeah, many things are still Lisbon. The traditional neighborhoods of the city are still respected. So we can still say that Lisbon respects a great deal of its originality.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember I've been here for 16 years in Portugal, and I remember Lisbon when I first started visiting 20 years ago, and it's exactly like you said, it felt like a village in the city, you know, the miserias and the little tascas and I remember having chicken in the places where the restaurant is full of smoke, but nobody cared because it was Lisbon, you know, and yeah, a lot of that has changed. But it seems like it's still a place where people are welcome, where everyone gets along most of the time, and that's special because you don't see that in a lot of big cities, big European cities.
Right. I think that part of that peaceful cohabitation, coexistence. I think it's an inheritance of our uh, time of the discoveries. So we were open to the world.
Yeah,
We have a reputation of being a people that connects well with the different people of the world. For instance, we have a reputation, for instance, in Africa, to be one of the European people more connected to the or natives to the people that were living in the place. So the Portuguese people is known and respected by having an integration and respect for all the other people in the world. I think
yeah.
compared to other people in Europe, to other nations, to other countries in Europe, I don't think we can find that flexibility and openness in other countries.
Yeah, because and that's what I was going to ask you. I think it's almost like people that have moved to Lisbon, but also to Portugal, because I'm in an area near to Caldas de Rainha, Arbich, Nazaré. That I'm in that area, and we also have seen a lot of people move here from all over. And I think the thing that makes it possible is the Portuguese. This wouldn't be possible without people like yourselves who are maybe have an opinion about it, maybe are not excited about certain things, but they'll never be mean. They'll never be like what we've seen in Spain, where you got the guys protesting tourism in front of the tourists while they're having their coffee in the morning. This is not something that I believe we'll see happen in Portugal because of the Portuguese. There's a different mentality there.
That's right. I agree with you. Our mentality, it's like I was saying to you, it's part of the integration, openness, connection to the people around the world. So I think that the current Portuguese people are still inheriting part of that traits of personality of their ancient grandfathers and grandmothers. So we still have that tradition to be open to the other people.
How does that tradition and that way of thinking continue to be passed down? Because it's something quite special. I don't know if it's an historic thing. I don't know if it's got something to do with the fact that most people will still be very aware of the revolution and the freedom that we received from that, and they remind their kids, even young kids, of this. I mean, what is your take on why that tradition keeps getting passed down? Because there's that openness and that respect that people have, that's their parents have taught them.
But we ourselves, we are also immigrants. So we have
Interesting.
Portuguese people living in many countries in the world. We have a large community of Portuguese people living in France, living in the US, living in Australia, living in Africa. So what would be our morale to criticize the immigrants? So in this case, that are coming to Portugal, because we ourselves, also have immigrated to other countries. So
Yeah.
I think now it's natural. So we are part of a world which is all connected. We are more a global village, and I believe probably in the future there wouldn't be any so many countries as there is now. So it's okay. So we ourselves have immigrated, and now people are migrating also to Portugal. So what would be our morale to criticize people that are coming to Portugal to work in Portugal? So I think it's a natural balance that keeps us naturally also open to this phenomenon of migrations and people coming to Portugal. Of course, there were some excesses, some mistakes that were done in the past years. So the last governments, I think they were many times too open, so too easy to accept people coming from many other countries. Now the current government is adjusting, so correcting those mistakes, and I think that we will achieve a natural balance, a good and healthy level of migrants here in Portugal.
What do you think is bringing, in your opinion, what is bringing people here? Because we're seeing it not just we're seeing Portugal just not just as a place where people want to come and have a holiday, but we're seeing more than ever before people are moving, packing up their lives wherever they come from. They're coming with their kids. What do you think is bringing people here?
Well, we have security, we have good weather, we have, as we can say, more or less good health services. So there was some years ago an idea that Portugal could be the Florida of Europe, something like that. I don't know if you were aware of that,
I've heard them
because
say it could be the California
or
of
California,
Europe, Florida.
California of Europe.
Yeah.
So good weather, good level of security, good food, nice people, uh, average to good health services. So we are a small country, but we have a lot of good things in this small country, and I think for people to live here, it is a good offer in terms of market and country compared to other countries in Europe. And the other segment, people that are coming to Portugal to work, well, as you may know, a lot of young people in Portugal went to college. They became specialized. They went to other parts of the world to work, and because of that, the working people that could do not so specialized tasks and works. So we were missing that part
Mm.
of that group. So to do that, to work in agriculture, to work in some industries, we were lacking people. So many people were coming from Africa, from Asia to Portugal. because of course in these cases salaries are much better than in their countries.
Yeah.
So we have these two phenomena for people with higher life level. Portugal is a good place to live with a lot of good things, security, good weather, nice food, etc. And on the other side, people are coming to Portugal to work because, well, we are now, our population decreased a little bit, and we are missing people to work in the many industries,
Mm.
especially agriculture. Agriculture,
Construction.
probably construction, that's right.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting. If you look at the statistics, not long ago, the amount of foreigners living in Portugal was 400 and something thousand. Today, it's over a million.
Yeah, 1.5, I believe. Yeah,
It's a big jump in a very small amount of time.
yeah, that's right. That was probably because of some mistakes did in the last few years. Too much, too permissive policies, and
Yeah.
now they are correcting that. I hope.
Do you think there is going to? I mean, are you hopeful and optimistic that there? I feel like I'm a very optimistic person, but I do feel like, and I'm a foreigner that's made my home here, so there's different sides to my brain in thinking about this. But I feel like there is optimism that we can find a balance, and for me, the biggest reason for that is the people, because of the nature of the Portuguese, and we've spoken about it already, how welcoming and pragmatic. Portuguese people seem to think about things a little bit more with a bit more of a broader mind than, well, we've done this and we've lived our lives, and historically we have this situation. Of course, there's still policies that need to be put in place that will bring back that balance. But are you quite optimistic that we're headed in the right direction?
Now, I think I have more reasons to be optimistic. Uh, I'm not turning this conversation into a politics,
Yes,
but
yes.
I think the current government is doing more things now regarding that situation that in some previous governments. So I think that we have reasons to be optimistic about that. Yes.
Between my job as a realtor at Portugal Realty and hosting this podcast, life is pretty busy. But lately, I've been receiving so many messages from people that want to know more about buying property here on Portugal's Silver Coast that I've got to do something about it. So starting now, for subscribers only, I'm offering up a 30-minute session per day. That's 5 30-minute sessions for a one-on-one meeting to talk about buying property here on Portugal's beautiful Silver Coast. This is for subscribers only. So please subscribe to book your session and get in touch with us through the links below via WhatsApp or email to book your session today. I'll be happy to speak to you. It's for subscribers only and it's completely free. Let's talk about your work, Mario. So you went from marketing, probably from what I understood from your initial explanation, was the stuff behind marketing and the way people see things was the thing that excited you the most. And like you said, 20 years ago, your life changed with hypnotherapy. Tell us a bit about the work that you do and how you went from doing marketing and things, but then moving on to actually wanting to help people with the skills that you learn.
Uh, I think there is a natural evolution in my career because I believe that when I was working in advertising and marketing, I was doing some kind of mass hypnosis, or at least I was working for
In a
that
way,
uh,
in a way,
in a way.
yeah,
And
actually.
now, after that, I think I'm redeeming. I'm in a redemption process of doing that. Uh, the current work that I do now, which is very based in hypnosis and meditation, i- uh, it it's very useful to target anxiety issues, some depression issues, and many times I see these kind of tools as a way of awaken some people, awaken from the perspectives they have about their problems, so that they can see in a larger and a broader perspective. So I think there is a natural evolution because in marketing and advertising, I studied a lot the consumer's mind, the consumer's needs, the mentality of the consumer. So that gave me a good background to understand the consumer mind, the people's mind.
People's mind, yeah.
After that, I went to hypnosis, to meditation, and these different states of consciousness, and started to do some volunteer work, initially helping people with anxiety issues. And then I evolved also to do some lectures here in Portugal, working for an English school in Portugal, in Spain, in Malaysia. I
Wow.
did some lectures and some courses around the world. And in 2008, I started my own project of training therapists and doing private sessions all over the country. Lisbon, Porto, Albufeira, Leiria, Coimbra, etc. So how come a guy that comes from advertising goes to meditation? I think there is a well, that perspective of looking at, okay, mass hypnosis to individual hypnosis. I think we all live in a kind of collective trance state, and many times people are creating problems in their own minds. Most of the time, there is not a very important reason for that problem, but people gives importance, focus, attention to that problem. So I, I I like to believe, I choose to believe there is an evolution in my career. So from mass hypnosis to individual hypnosis, well, people in their healing process and personal development, I like to see and I choose to see myself as a guy that is now in a redemption mode, those physiological needs. Because in marketing and advertising, many times uh, people that work in that industry, they believe they can create physiological needs,
Yeah.
needs that are not really important. For instance, the mobile phones. Now everybody uh, has a mobile phone, a smartphone. So that is a physiological need now. If I leave my house without my smartphone, I feel anxious. So that kind of need was created by the marketing. Now we are dealing with a lot of needs that are not so important. Meditation and hypnosis can be a useful technique to gain perspective, gain awareness on that,
Yeah.
and help to heal some emotional wounds.
Yeah. I mean, from my understanding, and it's limited. Okay, so bear with me, but you're not finding a cure for
Mm,
people's problems. You're not solving. You're helping people face and look at their problems in a different way. And my understanding of meditation is you don't ignore the things that are in your head. You don't ignore the problems. You find a different way to recognize them and confront
that's
or deal
right.
with them.
You know that there is a word that we use a lot in meditation, hypnosis, psychotherapy, which is reinterpretation,
Mm.
resignification. So that's right, as you are saying. Many times we are closed in a way of seeing the reality to a significance, to an interpretation, and that interpretation is causing us the suffering. Okay, so we can look at the same event in a different way that does not cause us so much suffering. That's right, as you were saying, it's a new interpretation.
Yeah, because I mean, the reality is we see it in our day-to-day lives. There's one day, let's just use our kids for an example. Our child can do something on one day and it doesn't upset us. and on another day they do this exact same thing and it upsets us. And it's not because they've changed something, it's because we've thought about it in a different way, or something has influenced the way we frame the situation.
That's right. But our emotional state at the time is also important to see
Yeah.
because that event, as you are saying, well said, the same event may have different impact on us in different days. Because of what? Because of our emotional state at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's very important. And hypnosis and meditation also helps in that regulation because many times we do not know how to regulate our emotions. One time, there was one day in which we are very happy, the other day we are sad, and we are observing that. We do not feel the power to change that. And meditation, hypnosis, or self hypnosis can be a useful technique to that also.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And you've mentioned a couple of times that it's wanting to help people with anxiety, depression. I mean, it's a strange world that we're living in. It's almost like everywhere we turn, we are the most supposedly the most connected generation now that we've ever been. But everything that we hold in our hands, everything that we see on social, actually does the opposite of connecting us. It almost alienates us. It creates anxiety. It creates depression. This is a huge thing that people need to be aware of today in today's world. And sometimes we even don't even know that it's happening in our heads.
Because it is true that we are connected. But what are we connected to?
Mm.
Some weeks ago in Portugal, as you may know, there was the blackout,
Up a go.
apagão, okay?
Yeah.
And of course, many people that were in the city in the middle of the confusion, of course, they were in panic, and I understand. But people that were caught by that blackout, by that apagão in other situations, in other circumstances, it was the most pleasant day of their lives
Yeah.
because they were not connected to the smartphones, to computers, whatever. And I saw that day people in the gardens, in the parks around city, talking to each other, sitting in the bench, sitting in the grass, and talking to each other. So that's the kind of connection that probably is missing now, not the connection between using the smartphones or whatever. It's the personal connection, the
Yeah.
connection to nature. That is missing a lot.
It was
Okay.
my birthday the
Oh
day
yeah.
of up a go. Yeah. And
Right.
and it was such a strange day initially because then it was everything stopped and I assumed, okay, we're not. My wife had booked us a place at a local restaurant that we like to go to. I assumed we're not going. Managed to just buy some meat, and we just did a grill and a barbecue on the backyard. Everybody's
Okay.
sitting around the table. The kids don't have their phones. We don't have our phones. Man, it was actually really, really nice. Initially, it was really
People
strange.
talk to each other.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was just because you got to a point where you just made peace with the fact that, hey, there's nothing else we can do today. We don't have electricity. We don't have phones. We don't have TV. Let's just sit and relax and talk. And it was actually a great, great day. Initially, it was weird because how was I going to tell my wife that I would fetch the kids from school? How was she going to know? All these kind of things. But in the end, it was just actually a really memorable birthday.
That's the kind of connection that we need.
Yeah.
Connection to each other, face to face, connection to nature. That's the kind of connection that is missing now.
Yeah, you mentioned the architecture of Lisbon as one of the things that has preserved, and one of the things that I always loved and still love about not, it's not only Lisbon, it's a lot of cities and towns around Portugal. Is it's almost like the towns and the homes, the apartments are always facing towards a square or a miradouro, and it's the place where everyone gathered, and it wasn't a long time ago that we couldn't gather in squares and in miradores and now we can, and that was a beautiful thing to see that day with the apagao, where those squares were being used for what they were originally intended, a place for people to sit on benches and just talk and play.
That was another great moment. Yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. It's going to be a strange question. I want to try to tie this back to Portugal. We like we just spoke about, we're in a world where anxiety is a big thing, and there's so many contributing factors to our anxiety, to our depression, social media, wars, politics, all these
Yeah.
things that are happening right now. Um, how do you think a place like this where we live, because every day I'm grateful that I live in a place like Portugal, but what do you think it is about Portugal um, that can actually help people with their anxiety, with depression? What do you think are some of those things that are innately Portuguese that could help us?
The first word that comes up to my mind is light. Light.
Light.
Yeah. The sunlight in Portugal is um, a very important aspect. We, as human beings, we need light. And I don't know if you know, Dylan, but Lisbon is known by many TV producers, advertising producers, because of their light, the
Yeah.
light of Lisbon. And light is a very important issue, element for our emotional and mental well being. We need light. We need light. That is a very important one. The good weather, of course, is connected to this. But the security, of course, there is robberies, there is crime in Portugal, of course, but the level of the criminality in Portugal, fortunately, is lower than in many other countries in Europe. So that security aspect is very important regarding the anxiety issues that for many people it's so important. Fortunately, we are also in a European space that is excluding Ukraine, because Ukraine is also part of Europe, of course. But we are in a continent in which the conflicts, wars, fortunately, they are not very present. So Portugal, as part of that continent in the world, of course, has that advantage to more. The sea is also a very important aspect in our emotional and mental well-being. The exposure to the sea, the all the sea around us as a country. So the connection to nature.
Mm.
Portugal is also it's a small country, but we have a wonderful nature that we can enjoy in many aspects, not only with the sea, but also in the forest. We have wonderful forests in Portugal. We have wonderful ways to connect with nature in Portugal. So, light, security, nature, and
Mario, what about community? Because I one thing, the light thing is something that is so obvious, but we forget about, especially when we live in a place like this, because it's every day. Even on a bad day, we still have light. Even on a gray day, we still have light, and the quality of the air and these things. And as you know, I'm in real estate, and I've got clients who are from all over the world. The British clients. I have a client I'll never forget from Lithuania who, in the winter, the last December and January, he said he saw the sky twice. The rest of the time it was just grey, and he needed to come somewhere where, when it's even in the winter, he can still see the blue sky. So the light thing is really interesting, and the effect that it has on us. But the other thing that all of my clients always talk about is community, because it's almost like they've lost that in a lot of big cities. People don't talk to each other. You know, if you were in the UK, it's very strange to greet somebody on a train or on a bus. But in Portugal, this is normal, that you say hello to the person that you sit next to. In the UK, you don't. They look at you like you're a crazy person. What about community? Because I had another lady on the podcast, Nina Patrick, who she spoke about Portugal as a blue zone or a future blue zone, where people can grow old. And one of the big parts of that was spoke about the food, of course, that is not so processed, the healthy lifestyle of walking around, but community, as in everybody's got time to have a chat. Your neighbor will tell you which beach to go to. Your other neighbor will tell you where's a nice restaurant, and everyone has time for a conversation. How important is that to what we're discussing?
I agree with you. We still in Portugal we still have that kind of connection to each other. Although in some big cities like Lisbon and Porto, that kind of attitude is not so common. Okay,
Mm,
smaller cities, smaller villages is very easy to find that. But that's correct. Portuguese people, as we were saying a while ago, is a people that is friendly, that is kind, that likes to speak, that likes to receive, that we are hospitable. So yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
We still have that spirit of community, although in those great cities like Lisbon or Porto, uh, that kind of easy way to communicate to
you
each
have to
other.
look a bit harder,
Yeah, that's it. That's right.
harder than before.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just lucky. We're in just a still a quite an authentic part of, and it's not. It's just normal that you walk into a cafe and you have a quick chat with the guy behind the bar, or you at the Plaza de Fruta in Caldas getting the apples, and the lady has a chat to the child, and these are still beautiful things about Portugal. Um, I'm going to flip the question. For we've spoken quite a little bit about migration and people moving here and wanting to come for community, but that's a two-way street. It's not just the Portuguese that have to be welcoming and make the effort when we are guests in a country. We also need to do our part. What advice would you give to people who are listening from all over the world that want to come to Portugal? They want to be part of a community. They want to integrate. They want to connect. What advice would you give people who want to do that?
Well, we are a country with 900 years of story, of history. So to know a little bit of our history, I think it would be important. Okay, because we are still a people that gives importance and attention to our history. Because in fact we are people with a great tradition and history. So we like people that know our history. Okay, uh, we like to meet people that know also our habits. Okay, uh, the way we greet to each other, the way that we spoke to each other, sometimes the way the music not so loud, etc. Because well, we are as I was saying to you, a kind people, hospitable people, but sometimes we also are a little reserved people
Yeah,
comparing
yeah,
to other peoples from other countries. So we like to have parties, of course,
good
but
parties.
the Portuguese, the average Portuguese is a guy that also like to have his own silence, his own moment, etc. So I think that part of our way of being is also important to know. So
Yeah,
history, some habits, some the effort to know the local language. I think it's wonderful when I see a foreign guy, a British guy, a Dutch guy, German guy, whatever, that makes the effort
yeah,
to speak a little of our language. Of course, we are used to speak different languages.
of
For
course.
instance,
Yeah,
when I was in school, I learned English, I learned French, then I learned Spanish. So we are used to speak. We Portuguese, we are used to speak other languages. but it's so nice when we see people that make the effort to speak our language. Okay,
Yeah.
we know it's not easy to speak Portuguese, but it's good to see the effort of someone trying to speak our language.
Yeah.
It's very well recognized by us. The other aspects, these are the three: history, the
Have
habits,
it.
the language, and I think those are the three most important, I believe. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah.
History, habits, and language.
I like it. I like it. Mario, what's one thing that you would like people to remember and to take away from our conversation?
Well, regarding Portugal, Portugal is a wonderful place to live, but it's also very important to respect the country and to respect the Portuguese. We are very hospitable. We are very open to the world, but we like also to be respected. And regarding the work that I do, well, uh, I suggest to look inside, search inside. And meditation, self-hypnosis is a good tool to do that. And if somebody needs some kind of help, I'm available. So
Well,
look for me.
perfect segue. How can people find you, follow you, connect with you online?
Well, I have a website which is marioruisantos.net. I think I'm also very easy to find in Facebook or social media,
Okay.
but I have my own website, which is marioruisantos.net.
Okay.
And it can be accessed in English, Spanish, and other languages.
Perfect. I'll put some links in the show notes so people can get in touch if they'd like to chat to you. Mario, one more question and a question that we ask all of our guests. Portugal, the simple life? Why?
It's still a simple way of living, yeah, and a simple life. I think we are still, as for many reasons that we were talking about during this conversation, we are still very connected to our traditions, very still connected to our nature, and I don't know, yeah, we are still fortunate to have a simple life yet, and I hope that we can keep it for many years.
Me too. Me too. Thank you. Well said. Mario, this has been a great conversation. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Dylan, for an invitation, and I wish you very successes and
Thank you.
a lot of luck and for your staying here in Portugal. And
Thank you. You
thank you
you
very
guys
much.
are stuck with me now, so I've been here long
Okay,
enough. Yeah, you're stuck with
okay,
me.
okay. Thank you.
Um, I'm gonna let you call it.
Okay, so for now, I just want to thank you and wish all the people that living in Portugal or planning to come to Portugal. Portugal is a great place to live, great place to visit, and it's a very nice country with a great light, great weather, and great people,
Thank you.
and all good things to see and to visit here in Portugal.
Muito obrigado e abraço.
Grande abraço. Thank you, Bill. Bye bye.
So thank you once again to our guests, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Don't forget, Portugal The Simple Life also has a magazine, so download it. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.